All right. How's it going, everybody? Brandon McCaskill here with Momentum Canada. I hope you're doing well. It is the last hour of 2022, ladies and gentlemen. Now, just give me a second here. I have New York City's ball drop live stream. This is from, I think it's NBC. So I watch this every year, different stream every year, but I just like to. It's just like a weird tradition. I guess a lot of people do it, but so I'm going to have that playing for you guys to enjoy. But I think I have a little bit of volume plan, so I don't want that to interfere. I think that might be okay. Yeah, so we'll have that playing on the screen while we have some little reflections. That's what I named the stream here. Hello 2023 reflections of the past year. So yeah, so if you're not too familiar with who I am and what I do here, my name is Brandon McCaskill, by the way. And this channel kind of took off during the trucker convoy back in February. PDS says Happy New Year. Great to have you, PDS. Looking forward to this chat. I'm going to be with you guys all the way until the new year. So let's make the most of it. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about today. And what I'd like to recall, because we've been through a lot as a country, as a community here on YouTube, a lot of you, I mean, to think that you guys, a lot of you in the chat and PDS, I'm pretty sure you've been here for quite some time too, but to know that you guys stick to it and that you are constantly on the tip of the spear, making waves, it's really, really encouraging. Sportsman Music, another familiar face. How you doing, brother? Or I assume you're a brother. Could be a woman. I don't know. Hello, Brandon. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Guys, let me know if I have that music from this live stream of New York ball drop. Let me know if that's a little distracting. I can turn it down or turn it off if it is. I was hoping it was just like perfect elevator music. But yeah, so looks like, okay, brother. Awesome. Thank you. Sorry about that. Wasn't sure. Kind of well, I guess it's sportsman music, right? So I guess that's gender specific. I should have caught on to that. Awesome, PDS. Right on. Yeah, so this channel took off. It took off because, let's say, the end of January. So this is, the truckers got there January, was it the 27th? It was the 27th, right? It was the last weekend of January. And so at that time, I had 150 subscribers. Like, I was just making dumb videos here on YouTube. I do a lot of, like, I do music. So I was recording a lot of parodies and some of my own songs, just being goofy. And then I started to hear the whispers of these truckers that were supposedly coming across Canada to protest mandates. And I remember thinking, oh, that's interesting. Like, you know, something that I wouldn't have thought of, like a bunch of truckers, and people were saying, yeah, they're gonna go to Ottawa and they're not planning on leaving until they get a response from some sort of politician. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool and it's gutsy. Sportsman, LOL. Sportsman, no problem. Cool. Christopher Rich, he says, greetings, Brandon. Music is not distracting. Good. Perfect. That's good to hear. Great. Now my furnace just kicked on. So I'm dealing with all kinds of noises. But yeah. Anyways, so that weekend, that was the weekend, I believe, because the truckers showed up. And you guys can correct me. I think it was January 27th. It could be the 29th. That's sticking out to me for some reason as well. I want to know for sure. Let me look. So let's rewind here. Looking at my calendar. So we got February, because it was a Saturday. I'm pretty sure. So let me see here. No, it was the 29th, because, yeah, so January 29th is when they got there. And that was the weekend that Trudeau ran away. Said he got COVID, right? And then he ran away to his cottage. And he did a press conference. So that must have been the Monday, which is the 31st. PDS is February 28th. Okay, so they got there the Friday, and the Saturday is I think when they first held the first event or something like that. I think there was like an orchestrated presentation or whatever you want to call it with a stage and people were speaking. I think that was the goal, to get everyone there for the first day on the 29th. But I could be wrong about that. I mean, just so much has happened that it's hard to recall everything, right? But so yeah, that Monday, Trudeau gave a press conference where he did his infamous speech of calling us the fringe minority with unacceptable views. And I did just a response video to that, just highlighting how despicable that was. In that video, overnight, got 180,000 views, and overnight got me, I think it was like 9,000 subscribers. And by the end of the week, I was sitting at 11 and it just kept climbing and climbing. So that's how it started for me. And I've enjoyed it. And I've developed a lot of new and great relationships. I mean, so many of you have reached out via email, which you're always free to do to this day, by the way. Brandon McCaskill, vo@gmail.com. People share their videos. Some people share their stories, or they just need someone to talk to. I'm definitely that kind of guy. And that's meant a lot to me. So thank you. Thank every single one of you. I appreciate how this journey began and where it's at right now, because I really love what I do. I did a brand change because I invited a few other people onto the channel. I used to be called Brando on the Go. I don't know if a lot of you remember that, but that's what my channel used to be called, Brando on the Go. And then we made the change to Momentum Canada because we saw an opportunity here to try to spread this message that we want people to hear. And it's been tricky. I mean, I've gone through the ups and downs of having my account I've received strikes and warnings of, content crossing the terms of service lines, and we came pretty darn close to having the channel completely suspended. So that stuff like that, excuse me, is it gets dicey and stressful at times. But the slate has been wiped clean. I checked my account just last week and I'm back to zero. So they give you, like, when I was at 2 strikes, and they give you a little warning saying, if you be good for 60 days, you can get it erased. So I was good. I was a good boy for 60 days. But anyway, yeah, with the brand change, Momentum Canada, it's because we had a number of different people. Jeff McCoy was one of them, Thomas Fisher, and Brooke Day. And now it's down to just Brooke Day and myself. And we've been managing the channel. He manages the more local politics side of things here in Sarnia, Ontario. We're in the southern tip of Ontario. And so he covers that neck of the woods, and I try to cover the cultural and the provincial and even federal politics, and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Basically, I love jumping on here live and seeing what's new with you guys and some of the questions that you have. And if you guys do have questions, I'll give my best answers. I'm not an expert by any means, but I do pay attention to most of what goes on in the country. Happy New Year says this. I don't know what that symbol says. I don't know that language. I think we had this conversation before. You've been on the stream, and if I remember right, was it Korean? Oh, I can't remember. Fighting Hate 101. Here's another familiar subscriber, faithful subscriber. Currently serving my 9th YouTube strike myself. 9th. Dang. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, you must be doing something right. And that, I mean, so nothing's set in stone right now. But we're in conversation with someone that I'd like to consider having on the channel, because I think she offers a unique perspective that is relevant to Canada, and it's to do with international affairs. And I'm not sure how that's going to look just yet, because she's a bit nervous and she hasn't really done media before, but she's just really good at research and connecting dots the way that I do. But we obviously have to have conversations about censorship and what are the things that we're going to talk about and what are the things we're not going to talk about. And I won't get too deep into what it would mainly be focused on, but it has to do with Ukraine and Russia. So like I don't know what that line is, so we got to find out where those lines are and have a conversation about what that would look like for our channel, because we can't be getting close to that line, because if we're gone, like what good is that? All right, so PDS says James canceled the Convoy 2.0 in Winnipeg. Okay. PDS, he put something out on his Facebook page. Oh, okay. Thanks for reporting that. Awesome. Great. Yeah, so on top of, so dodging the censorship bullet and just kind of trying to keep our nose clean, because what matters for me in this channel is that, I mean, obviously, since the very beginning, I was always trying to be that guy that encouraged everyone to contact their MPs, their senators, the governor general, whenever there was an issue. And I still encourage you to do that. There's so many things that we could be contacting our representatives about. But I wanted to provide a voice for what people like us imagine and desire Canada to be. And what I think what I'm good at, if I wanted to credit myself, I think what I'm good at is taking what you guys say into consideration. Like, I learn so much from my audience, and I feed off that, because I really want to feel what you guys are desiring for this country. And like, when you guys comment on my videos, even after the fact, I go through it because I want to know what you guys care about. And that's kind of stuff's very, very, very important for me. So that the mission of this channel is to reflect that and to kind of set the stage for politicians or the guests that we have on that are desiring to be a leader in any capacity, for them to come on here and align themselves with what we the people want. And me and Brooke are going to be talking about that. We're going to be on this Monday for our segment called Momentum this is Momentum Canada, but our show is called Momentum Monday. And we're going to be talking about that, setting the stage. What are the things that we want? And who are the representatives that are going to come to our channel and show us that they care about these issues? So that's what that stream is going to be about. If you have issues that you're concerned about, that you would want a particular party to fight for, that's what it's going to be about. So tune in. That's 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Monday. So looking forward to that. PDS contacting MP, all it does is fall on deaf ears. Definitely understand that. And it's frustrating. But for me, it was always about showing the numbers, overwhelming their system. And speaking of James Topp, he had that idea of writing your MPs like a physical letter, because people can delete emails, but they can't delete stacks and stacks of physical mail. So, I mean, I laughed when I first heard that idea. I was like, yeah, that's actually a good idea. But for me, it was just always about the volume. If your phone's ringing off the hook by a bunch of people, it's going to annoy you. And that's kind of the point. You want to annoy you want to get their attention. Scar X. I'm done with politics. I'm done with Canada. Jesus is coming soon. His kingdom is what matters to me most now. You're right. I'm right with you. Now, I won't say I'm done with politics. I still do what I can, but I can appreciate that and agree with that, because I don't think it's good to be so consumed with politics to where it just gets to you, where it's just, I don't know about you guys, but I would face some moments where I would just get too frustrated and caught up in it. where I couldn't connect with my faith and with my God. So I definitely feel you. PDS says the Canadians got their attention, and now we start seeing the Liberals are a little bit afraid. Yeah. And so I'm going to bring up a video right now. Oh, here's.
Well, you're going to bring up me.
Oh, let's bring up Brooke instead. How you doing, Brooke?
Bring up myself.
I was like, what happened to my stream? And then I saw Brooke's face. There he is. All right, here, let me pause this.
Myself into the stream. Well,
What's
Brent,
that?
well, you know, I'm not going to let you go live on New Year's by yourself. I do have the Georgia-Ohio State game on right now.
Oh.
It's been a stay-at-home preparation kind of night.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah. Preparation for what? Can you give us any?
Just like, you know, like whenever watch a game. So here's a pro tip for all you folks out there. Whenever you're watching content, whether it's Netflix or YouTube, you know, try to have a window open on your MacBook or on your computer, and, you know, just trying to stay productive, like light work, you know, like we have a lot of design stuff and postings and comments and replies and checking analytics with the channel. So I was doing all that tonight, right?
Yeah.
So I was getting all of our stuff ready to go for next week. I was, you know, we have Nathan coming in next week on the channel,
right?
You know, for my first guest of the year. So I wanted to be, you know, tight for that because I think that'll be a much anticipated conversation in the area. So, you know, just sitting around watching the game,
cool.
you know, doing MacBook stuff, man.
Doing MacBook
PDS, stuff. Happy New Year to you too, my man.
Yeah, it was a good year, man. It was a good run.
Yeah, who's in the chat tonight?
We got PDS, we got ScarX, got a few people.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just kind of reflecting on the year and kind of where this channel kind of came from and where we're at now. And I was just kind of foreshadowing our Momentum Monday, where we're going to basically just kind of ask the people what kind of issues they care about and what do they want to see their specific representatives rally themselves around and fight for. So I just kind of gave a little tidbit, but
should I ask PDS and Junior K and ScarX and everyone who's in the chat right now? Should I ask them if they want to hear sort of like our working thesis for 2023? What do you think?
Sure.
What do you think? You want to ask if they want to hear it?
Yeah. What do you guys think? I think you already did ask.
I know. I want to.
If we get 3 yeses, we'll take that as a yes.
Yeah. If we get, because I mean, I don't want to throw it out there, you know, but I do want to sort of gauge some initial reaction, just so make sure that you and I are not in a bubble and I'm not in my own head. But okay, there's 3 yeses. Okay.
Nice.
James Canadian says, I'm on the brink of bankruptcy. Well, listen, James, you know, that's a sad thing. We hope the best for you. Remember, money can be made, but lives can't, you know, so take care of yourself. Okay. Just wanted to say that to you. Okay. So we've got Honeycomb. I see Honeycomb tonight. It's been a while since I've seen that name.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. So we've got the likes. So basically, guys, we think that in the populist movement and right-wing politics at the grassroots, the issue set has moved away from COVID as the primary talking point, or that we should move away from COVID as the primary talking point, because if parties like, you know, the PPC, the PPO, any sort of new startup party continues to go down the path of just COVID, then they are just a one issue. They're just a one issue party. where people like attach the idea of COVID to that party, and that's their brand only.
Right.
And no longer grow beyond that brand, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
And if something like COVID pretty much has in Canada gone away on a day-to-day basis, like it's not really, there's no mandates, there's no restrictions or anything like that. And we run the course of 2023 with it gone, then all of a sudden we don't have an issue anymore here on the right. We don't have something to talk about.
It's not as strong.
Yeah, we're not as relevant, and our brand starts to decrease, and we fight for relevance. And we must look for how to grow the brand, of the populist movement, of the true conservative right.
Yeah.
Right? True conservative right. Right, Brandon? And what have we talked about a little bit about, what have we discussed internally?
So essentially we're asking the question, what else can we offer?
Yeah.
We got to stop being the one trick pony.
Yeah. Like, it was great. So Fighting Hate 101 says freedom rallies should remain only about COVID. Right. But like, what do we need to rally about right now? If the government's not locking us down by now, and it's almost January, that's past. And I said this in the spring. This is something Thomas and I would argue about all the time. I told them all the time that they can't keep the pressure up at 100 the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can't keep it at 100. They'll dial it back. And they'll have little things along the way. And you saw the rhetoric change. You saw the way the feds were talking about COVID and how the vaccines were being sold. It wasn't about, you had to take them. It was a marketing play, marketing campaign. Everything changed. So if the right doesn't change with those issue sets, then what do we have? And I will include the CPC in with this for the very reason that Pierre Poilievre ascended to the leadership role based on a populist right message. Now, some would argue that he's not populist, that he's a phony, that he's WEF. I don't care about that as much as the fact that he ran on a populist right message, and it's what gave him the momentum to become leader. That's a fact. So what would be the grassroots issue set for us in 2023?
You asking for a specific one? What we talk about?
I think we could throw some out there. I think it'd be good to hear some of our listeners sort of like share what they think. And guys, it's not COVID. Let me tell you, this is where I've said to Brandon, we have to show leadership.
Yeah.
We have to show leadership this year. And I'm telling you, it's not COVID. If we continue to talk COVID, someone else is going to take the new ground where the battle is waged, and we become irrelevant.
Right.
Right. So what do you like? What would you say, Brandon? Or throw one of the ones out, I guess, that we've sort of gone back and forth on.
Yeah, so we were going back and forth on mass immigration and how I think Maxime Bernier has already come out about that. And I mean, that's just a massive eye catcher for, all across the board. That's what everybody can relate to, because we all see the impact of that, right?
Well, Junior K, I'll answer your question and Junior K's at once. So Junior K, and you say, let's hear you want to hear our predictions. Well, my prediction is that they're going to follow through with their immigration plan. And my prediction is that it's going to continue to be a disaster. And the reason why, Junior K and everyone else in the chat and Brandon, that I believe it's a disaster is because I've been reading Quora.com a lot. I subscribed to Quora and made an account about a month ago. And one of the questions that I just found one day and clicked on was something about immigration and about how many Europeans, Eastern Europeans, people who look like me and Brandon, by the way, we're not talking about, people from like developing countries and stuff. We're talking about like dead ass white people, Caucasians from like Eastern Europe, Polish, Latvian. They're coming here and they feel like they've been hustled. And I was fascinated. I was like, what? You're from Latvia, bro. I'm thinking, well, how dare you? So I got into a rabbit hole of reading all these replies of these questions like, who feels like they've been cheated coming to Canada? Who feels like Canada's too expensive? What do? I want to go home. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I'm reading all this stuff, and it's educated European people who have immigrated to Canada legally. And I'm thinking to myself, holy shit. Sorry for swearing. You know, holy. Like, if these people are having a problem, what about the folks who are refugees from Ukraine, right? From North Africa, right? From the Middle East. Like, what do they have to say? And it made me think like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Now, there's a lot of theories to that, right? But if it made me think like, what the hell is our government doing to help these people get in and fit in our country? The answer is nothing.
Nothing.
They think by just opening the doors to the great white north is going to make everything good for everyone. But our politicians are so out of touch with how expensive things are, Brandon, in this country. You know, like one of our chat mates said that, you know, you need a lot of money to come to Canada. You do. You need a bankroll. You can't come in empty-handed. And they're having a rough time and they're upset. So like, this is beyond, oh, you know, Canadians need to get Canadian jobs. It's beyond that. We're bringing in, the plan is 500,000 immigrants into Canada.
500,000. Wow.
Per year. And the idea behind that is, so the economists will say that we're doing that because we have to replace the tax base, right? We need people to spend. We also need to replace the workforce because there's many baby boomers retiring. So we need more people, and the birth rate in Canada hasn't caught up with that. So we have to do all that. But the thing is, these people on these message boards that I'm reading, they can't get the proper jobs. So I think this is the number one issue that's going to cause headaches. Here's another thing too. And we have friends, you and I, numerous friends that are speculating in buying additional houses so they can rent to these folks when they get here. But they don't know that these folks are having a rough time paying for things. That's going to come back to haunt them because they're buying houses or they're building and buying houses at these prices and paying for them with people who are already complaining about pricing. So I really think the issue of immigration is really going to affect Canadians sharply. It's going to affect the attitude of Canadians. It's going to affect the opinion. I think it's going to be something we strongly talk about. I think that the media is going to block for the establishment, you know, because it's the plan of the politicians, and they're going to call everyone racist. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about white people. Like tonight, I shared one to the chat. It was someone from the UK. He's a graduate, and he's a graduate degree in chemical engineering.
Honeycomb says they need to do mass immigration to make up for the Canadians who have fled communist Canada.
That's funny. You know, it's funny though. I've had friends leave the country this year because of.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Right.
Like, take care of your own citizens first, and
you know my views on talent, right? Acquire talent. Like, I'm watching football right now, and every one of these coaches, after today's game, if you lose, the number one thing you're thinking of is, what 5-star running back can I get to my team for next year? They're thinking talent. You get the best people.
Yeah.
And I think Canada is a wonderful place to attract the best, right? But it seems like, too, that we're attracting the best. Again, I'm reading these Quora.com replies and these posts, and these aren't high school grads, Brandon. These are people with proper degrees.
Yeah.
You know? And it's there's something missing. There's something missing.
Yeah. Well, my question is, if they're taking all their best from the other countries, what does that leave the other countries with?
Well, I'm not worried about that. Right? I'm pro-Canada. Right?
Yeah.
Remember, we need to compete. Canada needs to be competitive. So I'm happy to take everybody's best and bring them over here.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm happy to do that, because with talent you can do more. I'm not a nativist in the sense where, you know, we need to hold our jobs for Canadians. No, we need to hold our jobs for the best.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. But if for some reason our system isn't able to process the best, what does that say about like the business model that we're going to try to execute? Like, because they're going to go forward with 500. Like, what's going to happen to those 500,000 people? And then how will that affect our communities, right? How will that affect our social services? These are all like kind of like the protectionist kind of arguments.
Yeah.
Mine's more of a, what the hell's going on if educated people from Europe can't get in and fit in Canada?
Yeah. So does Canada have the highest rate of like mass immigration at this scale?
I don't know. 500,000 is a lot of people, though.
Because like I want to know if there's a country that's dealt with this before. Like, do they have a system in place where like they're prepared for that type of number?
Well, I'm sure that early immigration, early years of North America,
Yeah.
the same numbers were coming in, but it was different. It was different. Yeah. Not in the situation that we have right now. Sorry, guys. I've got my MacBook on a pillow on my legs. I just saw Brandon going live. I wanted to jump in, but I do think the immigration issue is going to be quite interesting because of our plan, because of what the feds have decided to do. The Liberal Party have decided that this is our strategy.
Right.
So we'll be able to evaluate the strategy on its merits. Is it working? And we should be allowed to talk about it from we're from here, you're not. This is what's changing in our communities because you come here, without being called a racist.
Yeah.
Because we are the new land. We are the place that we do hope people want to come to. Just like with tourism, you want people coming to your city of Sarnia, right, to enjoy all things and spend money. You want the best to come to your country to open business and work for big companies and contribute to vibrant economies. We want that. I just think that something's missing. I can't put my finger on it. But I think it's going to be an issue. What other issues do you think there'd be coming?
That's what I was just trying to think. Do you have any on the top of your head?
Because
what I'll say is that like with especially the populist freedom movement, they probably feel that it's not just COVID, but that there's the implementation of digital ID and cryptocurrency becoming the new centralized form of handling our money. Like, are those issues that are strong enough that could still push the way for populist message?
I mean,
I know we're getting into the whole topic that we're going to be talking about on Monday, but
I don't know if like central bank digital currencies and crypto and stuff is just a populist idea or a populist issue. I think it's all of ours.
It's like a freedom issue, like a right to privacy, right?
So I think it's a privacy
kind of
issue.
Attached. Yeah.
Yeah. I think everyone's concerned with that. I honestly, only the people who change their profile picture every time there's a new issue are going to be for the CBDC.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I think everyone is like, no, we don't want this. It's going to be interesting to see how they try to introduce it. I reckon they're going to give away a lot of free money to make it happen. Yeah, I mean thousands of dollars to make it happen. And they'll look at it as an investment cost. They'll look at it like, oh, you want $10,000 in 1 year for free?
Yeah.
To download the wallet? Sure. No,
you're talking UBI, right?
$10,000 per citizen? Yeah, we're good.
See, that will be that will be the struggle. People will resist the temptation. Even though I guarantee you there's probably everyone in this chat is probably thinking, heck no, I'm not taking that. But when it comes to it and they're handing you money,
well,
are you going to take it?
Maybe. And let's ask him. You know, he might be bankrupt soon. Would he take the 10,000? If they create such weak economic conditions where people are that down on their luck, and I don't mean to single James out, but that's the example, right? Like if they create such really bad conditions, right, where they can dangle out some money out there, you're going to have a lot of people take it, Brandon. You know, like I don't think that the populist right has a problem being the party or the group for freedom in the country. I think they've established themselves really well as being the freedom first.
Yeah.
So much so that it's almost like a negative thing. Because then the other side will say that, well, you're just free dumb, D-U-M-B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll do the, you're dumb. You're free dumb.
You're dummy.
Because no one's really truly free.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, you know, at times the populist right, that part kind of overplays that a little bit too much. Yeah. You know, when it comes to their, I guess you could say their research, the research for, you know, our government and everything like that and all that stuff, I think it sort of gets a little bit out of hand. But I don't think they don't need to, you know, brand themselves any further there. I think they hold that ground really well. And in politics, you need to brand yourself. And what you and I have argued that is that where to next for the freedom movement. We can't, hey, you guys in the chat and everyone, we can't be sitting around in 2023 talking about COVID and Convoys 2.0. We can't. And if that bothers you, I'm sorry. We need a new issue set that is primarily focused to make Canada a better place in a more competitive environment so that we can be on the right track for our kids. It's that simple.
One thing I know the Conservative Party rallies around is carbon tax, and they go after the Liberals all the time. But I think that's an issue that unites the Conservatives and the populists. Like, what if in 2023 we somehow were able to show the receipts of what our increased carbon tax has been going to? Like, if we could expose that to the public and show, look, we're not doing anything about the climate. This is what this money has truly gone to. I think that could blow a hole in
well, I mean,
agenda.
That's a very easy. I mean, we could explain right now how that works.
Yeah,
carbon taxes get repatriated in the form of payments to a lot of things, and a lot of it goes to like people who are poor. Poor get climate action initiative payments, and the less money you make, the more you make of that. That's socialism, right? You're taxing production and giving to, you know, people who are not as productive, which is generally socialism, right? Yeah.
Because we like to see the receipts. We like to see, even locally, we want to see where our money's being spent, right? If they're not showing that.
What does PDS say here?
PDS says, I think they're going to bring the masks back because mandating China to come into Canada must provide a negative test. Yes, it's true.
What does that click back there? You see, I disagree. There's going to be no mask mandate.
Well, isn't that what they were just talking about? They asked
What?
Pierre Poilievre in a press conference. I think that was this morning. They asked if he would be in support of that, and he didn't want to comment on it.
Mask mandates again?
Well, I think they're going to be requiring testing.
From China right now. Yeah, because China's experiencing millions of cases a day.
Yeah.
And they are worried about a new strain. And that's fair. Like, look, I had COVID. I was sick for a week. All you people out there that think COVID is nothing, stop it. Stop it. It makes people sick. And it does kill people. Okay? But like, it was never something we should have ever locked down, ever ruined ourselves. We debased ourselves. We printed ridiculous amounts of money, ruining our global competitiveness. We screwed everything up just for like basically something that was like a flu. And yes, it killed people and it made people sick. And I don't even want to talk about the vaccine. I'm not here to talk about the vaccine.
Yeah, we best not.
But like, we're not going back to mask mandates.
No.
There's no momentum for that in the country. No one's going back to that. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, we must change the issue. We must change the issue. Even on War Room with Bannon, it was like the War Room pandemic for so long. Now it's called Bannon's War Room.
Yeah.
He rebranded. He pivoted months ago. You know what I mean? Like, we in this group, in this section of the society, we need to pivot. Or we look unintelligent enough to know that we need to go and find the ground to occupy before our adversaries do.
Yeah.
Politically. That's the message I want to take into 2023. You know, we have some really genuinely intelligent people who hang out in the chat, support our channel. Like, I want to know from them, what are they concerned with, you know, in the future?
PDS says, and the government used that to control, just like they want to also control the EV market and 15-minute cities. Compared to authoritarianism, COVID is a mild concern.
Right, right. Absolutely. At this point, authoritarianism is the biggest concern, and authoritarianism gets really, the coup de grace with authoritarianism is the central bank digital currency in the digital wallet, right? But I like the issue set for the conservative right of immigration, not from the standpoint of like, we can't let people come in here, but like, what's the plan, Stan? What's the plan? You know, like, what's going on? I also like energy. I've gone back and forth with supporting energy as far as like a key initiative.
Right.
I do think right now that prolonged high energy costs is a really bad thing for Canadians. Having lived through, like, it's a really bad thing. It causes, we don't make anything. We don't make anything, right? So the movement of goods in Canada, we have to move goods quite a bit, quite a large distance, costs money. We have to truck things all over the country, costs money. Yeah. So I'm concerned with high energy prices. I'm concerned with low capacity. I'd like to see our men and women back on, you know, finishing off whatever reserves we have in the oil, in the gas, making the money. I'd like to see that. And I'm not saying either that we need to pause the electric revolution. I'm not one of these guys. I'm well aware that the cars themselves require ridiculous amounts of oil. Yeah. And I know that cobalt mining is just, you know, it's an atrocity. You know, but I also think that wouldn't it be nice if no internal combustion engines were pumping carbon dioxide into the air? or carbon monoxide into the air. Wouldn't that be phenomenal? And yes, I know that the grid itself would have to be a green grid, but there's going to be a little bit of like, speed bumps to that. You don't make changes overnight. There's going to be some pain.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a nicer balancing. So I'd like to say, that's where I like the conservative agenda. They talk about, good conflict-free Canadian oil, right? Our own oil with our own men and women working, refining it. I love that. And I think that's where the populist right should join the mainstream right and really get behind that.
Yep. Agreed. Well, that'll be a interesting live stream for Monday. That's but we're actually 15 minutes away from the new year, and I was going
I'm going to get going. I'm going to watch the end of this game. I wanted to drop in and just say what's up to everybody.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. I hope you and your family have a happy new year. Say happy new year to your kid and to your wife.
Yeah. So, hey, guys, thanks a lot, everyone, this year. I mean, Momentum Canada for me was a 2022 birth. I loved it. I got to meet Brandon along the way. We ran a campaign together. It's been a fun year. We rebranded. It used to be Brandon on the go. Right? And now it's Momentum Canada. So PDS and Fighting Hate 101 and everybody out there that has always, dropped in Honeycomb. It's just nice to see you guys. Pinto Sack, you're always there. It's nice to always see you guys.
Yeah.
Brandon and I are really focused for 2023. We're going to be more leaders this year. We're going to drive. I think we resolved to. We're picking the issue sets. We're driving them. It's what we're going to talk about, and we hope others sort of see what it is that we're doing and sort of follow along.
Yep.
All right, Brendan. Enjoy the countdown. I'm going to get back to the end of this football game. It's getting really tight. It's really exciting.
All right. Take care, brother. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Let me switch screen settings here. Where was I before? This one? No. Not that one. There we go. That's what I had before. So, yeah. Awesome. Pinto Sack says, Happy New Year, boys. Great. Happy New Year to you. Fighting Hate 101 says, the plan must be to arrest the lieutenant governor and Doug Ford for not justifying emergencies orders. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Lots of things I think that we can rally around. So, we'll dive more into that on Monday. So make sure you guys are there. We'll just kind of exacerbate all the ideas that we have. Happy New Year to Honeycomb. Thanks for the chat. Yeah, guys, I'm going to play a video here. That's why I mentioned to Brooke that I wanted to kick him to the side, because I wanted to play a video that started it all for me. This was the first video that was sent to me during the trucker convoy, and kind of just as a throwback, as looking back at good memories, because this one made me cry, and I hadn't watched it since then. So it's been months, and I brought it up and I played a little bit of it, and the tears started coming again. So I don't know if that's going to happen now. I'm under pressure this time because I'm on camera, but I'll play it for you guys. PDS says, I'm going to tune into you guys on Monday. Happy New Year, guys. All the best. Let's move forward with some great things in mind. I like that attitude. I like it. Jennifer Schwab. Are you Klaus's wife? Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Yeah, so let's share this video. Let me find it first. I guess I have to stop the live stream, and then we'll be back on time for the ball drop and the countdown. So bear with me. There we go. So this was the first video that a friend sent to me, and I don't even remember what friend it was. And how do you do full screen? Is that full screen right there? No, that's not full screen. I think that's full screen. So enjoy. Here it goes.
We are standing at the battle line. This is our
look at those flags, guys.
This is our cry to see revival, the nation's free.
Goosebumps.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. So we are meeting at the battle, the same ground where you poured out. You are doing something greater. It is coming, it is now. So here we are in the Northlands, with our eyes set on your gaze. Canada will see revival, and it's flowing from this place. We are standing at the battle line. This is our anthem. This is our cry to see revival in the nation's free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard. Oh, for thee, we are standing at the battle line.
So beautiful, guys.
This is our cry to see revival, the nation's free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard.
Oh, this is wrecking me, guys. Such a baby.
Oh, hear our prayer. Hold our dominion in your care. Oh, let us be, oh God, to thee, the rich reward for the nations to see. Ruler supreme, oh, hear our prayer. Hold our dominion in your care. Oh, let us be, oh God, in thee, the rich reward for the nations to see. So the seeds that have been planted in the soil of this land, every child that is living, you will walk with hand in hand. Every color, every nation, every tribe and every tongue, they will bow their knees before you as your daughters and your sons. Oh, we believe it, we prophesy. Oh, that the seeds that have been planted in the soil of this land, every child that
look at those people just jumping up and down.
You're gonna walk with hand in hand.
You guys set the perfect example all around the world. So proud of my country. So proud of you guys. Same with me, PDS.
This is our anthem. This is our cry for to see revival and the nations free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard over the air. Oh, we are standing at the battle line. This is our
It's bringing back all those feels. Oh. Man, look at those people.
It's a song of
Happy New Year, Silvio. Sportsman music. Happy New Year. USA to Canada. God bless you. Happy 2023. Yeah, so this song's done. Perfect timing. Guys, isn't that beautiful? Man. I was welling up there, guys. Ladies and gentlemen. But that's what started it all. For me, at least, that was one of the first videos that was sent to me. But let's remove that one, and we'll bring up the ball drop so we don't miss that. There we go. And this is the one we want. So yeah, thank you guys in the chat. We'll just I guess we'll still chat here for a little bit. Bring on the music again. So this is the live cam. Let me enlarge that for you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Man. I mean, that same spirit and same that same love, guys, that we just witnessed in that video. I just hope that we never forget that experience, and that we use that same love and that same motivation and passion to do more of that in 2023 and be smart about the things we do. I mean, I was watching the video, and those of you who watch me know from day one, I always said we shouldn't have done the F Trudeau flags, and it's controversial, especially on this channel. People yell at me a lot, but I think that was one thing we could have did better. So that's what I mean when I say let's be smart and strategic and be leaders. I mean, Brooke talked about that, about us being leaders, but encourage you guys to be leaders as well for the people that you influence. Fred Johnson says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Fred. Thanks for joining us. So we got a minute left, so soon. So yeah, let's say farewell to 2022. It looks like we got the ice rink there. It was crowded with people just half hour ago. It's probably because everybody's waiting to kiss somebody, grabbing someone to kiss. I don't know if we'll see the numbers here. I think over here on the top left we'll see the numbers, but man, I don't have a box of Kleenex around here, guys. I wasn't expecting to get emotional. Paul Bissonette. Do you remember about Joe Clark X PM in 1974 or 76? Well, I was born 1991. No, I don't remember that. I'm a spring chicken. So the new year's here. I just didn't see any kind of countdown. Well, guys, happy new year, because the clock has already changed. I was expecting some sort of countdown, but apparently not. This was great. This was a fun walk into the new year with you guys. We had some good chats with Brooke and kind of recounted what went on this past year and what started this channel and where we're at now. But yeah, with that said, thank you guys. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. That helps us out a lot. I mean, everything to do with the algorithm, the thumbs up on the videos, the sharing, the subscribing. The algorithm likes that stuff and pushes our video out to more people. Happy New Year, MJ. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great 2023. We're going to talk a lot about, we're going to, how can I put this? We're going to have some fun in 2023, and we're going to work hard to make an impact in our country here on the channel. So I encourage you to subscribe. We're going to have guests from week to week, maybe not every week, but we're going to try to build this channel and make a dent with what we want to see and what we desire for this country. So I look forward to working with you guys. We appreciate your 2 cents when you come into the chat. We always take what you guys say into consideration, and because you guys are, you're smart listeners. So thank you guys once again. Have a great new year. Best of luck. God bless you. And I'll see you Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when we go live for Momentum Monday. And I'll see you then. Bye for now.